Well, hey everybody, today we're going to talk about Halcyon and LS, two companies that have absolutely nothing to do with each other. But they're both relatively small, there was limited information, so I thought I'd give you a twofer. Halcyon made models from science fiction franchises, more modern ones, primarily Back to the Future, the Alien franchise, Judge Dredd franchise, and the Predator franchise, which of course, as we all know later, became part of the Alien franchise. They have a couple of versions of the DeLorean. They have a model of the Predator. They have a couple of different versions of the Alien and the Alien Queen, including a chest buster. They have a couple of different face huggers. They have Ripley with the heavy loader, which apparently goes perfectly with the Queen she's supposed to fight. They're scaled together, so if you want to use those two, that'll go nicely. And from what I've seen of the images online, they're actually quite nice. In the Judge Dredd series, they do Judge Dredd, Judge Death, the Lady Judge, and one of his enemies, Mean Machine. In the Alien franchise, they're also doing some of the ships. They do the Nostromo, the Sulaco, the armored fighting vehicle. They do their armored personnel carrier. They do the drop ship, and a couple of other kits. They actually look pretty good. Although online, the main complaints have been the scale is so small that you pretty much have to position the components the way you want them, the doors or hatches, because they're too small to make them work. Apparently they're around 1:72 scale. There are also a couple of complaints about if you pose them certain ways, there's some void spots inside, but really no serious complaints. The things are pretty expensive. The company wasn't in business all that long, a little over a decade, so if you go on eBay, you'll see some of these things going for $400, although most of them aren't quite that expensive. But if you want to get something from Halcyon, a company out of Great Britain, then you're going to have to pay for it. I'll post the years that they were in business because somehow I left that out of my notes. The other company is LS, which is out of Japan. It was established in 1946. From what I can gather, I don't believe they got into plastic kit models until the 1960s. The company lasted until 1992, but bankruptcy forced it to sell its molds to REI, and I learned that's how you say it, REI. They had a pretty substantial line of models. This was not a small company. They had 1:144 and 1/72 scale aircraft, and apparently the slightly unusual, if this is right, 1:175 scale aircraft. So I'm going to look for that. Their military vehicles were in 1:35 scale, and like most Japanese companies, they had tried to push the 150 scale, which later gave way to 148 scale. Frankly, I don't know if I could tell the difference. They also did, and this is one thing they have in common with Pyro, a lot of 1:1 scale firearms, including hand grenades and grenade launchers. Until I did this research, I had no idea anybody actually made a scale model of an M203 grenade launcher, which, by the way, is what I carried for my first 2 years in the Army. That is the grenade launcher you see in the movies that goes on the bottom of an M16. If you guys remember Scarface. Want you to meet my little friend, which, by the way, that wasn't a real M203. That was something Hollywood made, and it was actually a 37 millimeter, but it looks the same. They had a series of 1:600 scale ships, and they also did automobiles in 1:32, 1:24, and 1:20. And like many of the Japanese model companies, they did a lot of science fiction and anime characters, including Maspiata, Southern Cross, and Galvion, amongst others. The company actually lasted a long time. They were around over 40 years, and they were making models for almost 30. I cannot tell you why they went out of business, if it was the retirement or passing of the owner or perhaps market forces. I just don't know. But that's what I have on LS. If you know anything about LS or Halcyon, put it in the comment section. Let us know. Come on, folks. Give me some feedback here. Throw me a frickin' bone, people.
There stood a log cabinator
just that there wasn't a lot of information on either one of them, so they didn't really. Hey guys, Max here, and they have absolutely nothing to do with each other. It's just that they're both relatively small companies and there's not a lot to say about them, so I thought I'd do a two for one. We'll start off with Halcyon. And they have kits, and they have drama. And Judge Death, the Lady Judge, and a couple of other night is the other company is LS, which is based out of the other company is LS. If you know anything about LS kits or the company, put in the comment section. Or for that matter, if you know anything about LS or Halcyon, put in the comment section. Let us know. Come on, folks. Give me some feedback here. Throw me a frickin' bone, people.